President Trump goes to Florida this morning to spend the holidays at his Mar-a-Lago resort. A senior White House official says the president may sign the tax bill before he leaves Washington. He celebrated his first major piece of legislation with congressional Republicans at the White House on Wednesday. The new president dominated the year in politics with his challenges on the job.
Together, we will make America great again.
Russia is a ruse. I have nothing to do with Russia.
The Russia story is a total fabrication. There was no collusion. There was no nothing.
If it's possible, would you let me know, am I under investigation? He said, you are not under investigation. Regardless of recommendation, I was going to fire Comey.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides. I hit him with everything. I got the white supremacist, the neo-Nazi, I got them all in there. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Nobody knew that health care could be so complicated.
They said, Mitch, get to work and let's get it done. They lost by 1 vote. For a thing like that to happen is a disgrace.
The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Paul Ryan and Mitch, it was a little team. We just got together and we would work very hard, didn't we? Huh? It seems like it was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun when you win.
So what does the president's first year tell us about where we're heading in 2018? Susan Page is USA Today's Washington bureau chief. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Let's talk first about this Russia investigation. You hear from those on Capitol Hill say this may be the most important investigation. Where might the special counsel head in the new year?
Well, we know he's doing, he's been talking to a lot of people. We get leaks out of various aspects of the investigation, not so much from the special counsel himself, that lead us to believe that there is, he's moving toward looking at whether there was either collusion or obstruction of justice by the White House, by the president himself, by members of his family, by campaign and other aides. This has cast a huge shadow over the White House this year, and that shadow is only going to get deeper and stronger, I think, as we go into this new year.
Susan, there's been a 5,000-point rise in the stock market this year. Unemployment's at 4%. But the president's approval rating is at 35%. How is that?
And what a disconnect that is, because typically if the economy's doing well, then the president's approval rating goes up. That's not been the case this time. And those who disapprove of the president cite not so much his treatment of the economy, his handling of the economy. They cite his character and his judgment. And those are hard things to change. You know, one thing that's different with this president than previous modern presidents is he has failed to expand the group of Americans that support him or that think well of him in his first year. In fact, his support has actually declined. His approval rating is now significantly lower than any other president in modern times at this point in his tenure.
I've heard you say that President Trump and his election helped fuel the Me Too movement. What do you mean by that? Because I think many people give Harvey Weinstein credit for this.
Yes, I think not one factor that accounts for a big cultural shift that we're seeing in this country now. But when President Trump was elected, despite credible allegations of sexual misconduct on his part, I think some people thought this would set a new lower bar for sexual harassment and sexual harassment in the workplace. And instead, I think it's had the reverse effect. It's really stoked the movement of women becoming very public and being more willing to talk about sexual harassment in the workplace, and encouraged others to take them seriously, to believe them. And that has been, I think, one of the unexpected consequences of the Trump presidency.
You know, Susan, you've covered so many elections, and as we look towards this midterm election, we're hearing now that even the Republican National Committee is warning the Trump White House that there could be a bloodbath in the 2018 elections, in part driven by women voters.
Yes, it's so interesting. You know, I think Democrats are increasingly optimistic they will win control of the House, and Republicans are increasingly pessimistic that in fact is going to happen, that we'll see 24 seats flip so that Democrats regain control of the House. And some of that is driven by this new activism, no engagement by women voters. We've seen that in the elections that we've had in this past year in New Jersey and in Alabama and in Virginia. And also the engagement of women not only as voters but as candidates. Emily's List now says that 25,000 women have contacted them interested in running for office at various levels.
25,000?
That is an astounding number. So how do you assess his first year?
So I think in terms of policy, he's had a huge impact. You know, I think that in terms of appointments to the federal courts, in terms of repealing regulations, this new tax bill, he has had, President Trump can count things he has succeeded in doing that he said he was going to do. But politically, he is on a very perilous path, and that goes to the midterm elections and to this Russia investigation.
It'll be an interesting year ahead, Susan Page. Thank you.
Thank you.